Come, everyone, gather around Avid. He will tell a grim tale. So, studio director's letter to 2025 and beyond. So, this is coming from the ZeniMax Online Studios director? No. I forget what his role is, but he's like the top honcho over at ZeniMax. Matt Fiore or Fryer. I don't know how to say his last name, but anyways, he's doing this big announcement for basically the rest of the trail for Elder Scrolls Online. So, studio director Fiorer, Fire. I don't know, too many R's, but yeah, big changes coming, 2025 and beyond. Welcome to everyone in the Elder Scrolls Online community as the year is drawing to a close. I'm going to take some time to walk you through my thoughts on 2024, look ahead to 2025, and how ESO will be evolving to meet the changing needs of the community. That sounds interesting. Does that mean they're actually listening to their forums and what people have been complaining about? First, a few notes about 2024. I probably say this every year, but 2024's ESO content was among my favorite. He does say that quite a bit. I feel like every global reveal he says this year's his favorite, next year's his favorite. I loved the vibe, the whole story of Gold Road, and now the home tours is allowing me to see so many other people's homes. Can you imagine playing with Matt? Like, I would love to see him in game, or like even what his in-game character is. Maybe his user ID is Papi Grande. I don't know. I'm seriously considering making Maravine a state in my main house, although it would take a lot to unseat me from my Marnoth keep. 2024 showed me that we are still creating wonderful content for all our players. We ended the year with two new companions. The new companions were my favorite, I think. Aside from the Battleground update, I did really enjoy the Necromancer companion. That's the first time we got a Necro companion in the game, Zareth Var. I'm early in my journey with him, as well as some fun tweaks to Battlegrounds and much more. I look back on 2024's content and updates. I'm very satisfied with our story, content, and system updates. I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy Matt's videos. I like when he speaks directly to the community. It's a bit different to see a letter being displayed on their home website, but I mean, at least he's speaking out to the community and letting us know that he's got some changes coming. So it's wonderful to spend time with the fans in person in April at our Amsterdam 10-year anniversary event, and for the team members. Sadly, I could not make it to attend a German ESO tavern in July. We had many other smaller regional community events, some of the first time in our territories, sprinkled throughout the year, where fans of our game got to meet one another and share stories about their shared time in Tamriel. Now it is time to look forward, which will compromise most of this end of the year message. Change is constant, especially in gaming. The gaming industry changes, player habits change, other games come and go. In fact, change has been constant since ESO launched in 2014. We have been able to keep up with the times, make hard decisions, big changes, but when it was time to make them, looking back on all the changes that have gotten us here, it's pretty clear that we are generally made the right decisions at the right times for our game. And now we're looking forward to 2025 and how we can change ESO to keep it relevant, awesome, and compelling. Since 2017, we have released amazing content and systems every year, but always on the same schedule. This annual cadence pushed the team to focus on short deadlines. Every June, where all types of content, systems, content zones, etc., have been completed at the same time and has not left us much time for experimentation or thinking about doing things differently. This is very true. It seems like every year comes with new bugs. New chapters come with new bugs. It gets harder and harder to pinpoint exactly what's wrong with the game. Even though there's plenty of feedback on the forums, I'm not necessarily sure how the time frame works as far as fixing things. But, with that being said, I could probably understand, everybody's got a job, and to crunch the numbers as far as, the time it would take to fix something or to experiment with something else while on a tight schedule to release content. I'm sure it is pretty hard. I mean, I'm no coder, but I could only imagine meeting deadlines to, release these chapters that they've done, not even including the quarterly updates that they do. So I'm just speaking in regards to the June updates, like the big chapters that they do, like Gold Road, Necrom, all that kind of stuff. And then they do the quarterly updates too, with the different DLC dungeons and different zones and all that stuff. So they do a lot of work. It's not like they're, you know, lazy by any means. They're just they're focused on, you know, bringing new players in, and you can't really knock them for that. Everybody's got to make a buck. So at the end of last year, we gave a slight heads up that we would be shaking things up. Our lead times are so long that they were already planning for some of these changes back then. And I'm very happy to say that starting in 2025, you'll see new ideas and ways of launching content start rolling out. I really hope so, because PvP has been drowning for a long time. You're not planning on also quitting ESO, are you? No, Bazooka, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere. I got too much time invested in this game, man. And that's where the channel kind of grew on, so I'll be sticking with ESO for quite some time. He does this every year, yeah. This on the heels of the devs, ZOS ESO Studio unionizing. Yeah, that's right. There's like 400 some workers that unionized in, what was it, the E3 event? Some big event happened. I don't remember exactly what it was, or like the awards, video game awards, and then like 400 plus people at ZeniMax Online Studios formed a union. So I wonder if this has something to do with it too. Like they're tired of meeting all these deadlines. I'm just speculating, but you know, everything, when you think about it, they kind of tie together with each other. So June was even less content though this year. The companions were released 4 months later. The zone was smaller. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You got to think though, like, how much money do these guys really have to work with? Can you imagine the dime it took to pull Cypher PK to play the Battleground update with Brian Wheeler? It's probably why they canceled the North American get-together. They made billions. Yeah, I mean, the CEO made billions. But as far as like a company, you know, putting it on the corporate credit card, they're probably going to be pretty cheap. People spend dirty money on the Crown Store, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they don't have money. I'm saying they're a conservative company. But to be fair, they are their own entity. They just work under Bethesda. And then, of course, Bethesda's owned by Microsoft now. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, there is no reason why they can't do more. I just feel like a lot of their money is probably being spent elsewhere, which is the new MMO that's being worked on right now by ZeniMax, and then some of the new games that are coming out. Like, can you imagine how much coins being dipped into or being spent on Elder Scrolls 6? My bad for interrupting. You're not interrupting, dude. And they have plenty of world map to develop. Let's not forget the other continents and races of Nirn. Yeah, I mean, they have plenty of, you know, content to release. I feel like they're just taking a different approach. But Thorax isn't wrong. The Crown Store is like their absolute money maker. Like that, I've never seen anything get hot fixed quicker than that damn Crown Store. Like Dragon Knights had a bug with their main ultimate for I think a year straight, but as soon as something's priced wrong in the Crown Store, you best believe those servers are going down that night. It's like when McDonald's went the contract in McDonald's went down at Cleveland Clinic main campus. They built a drywall up the day the contract ended. Oh, jeez. So, aside from that, they're turning away from chapters and they're getting into seasons. So, introducing seasons. Over the course of 2025, we will be moving more towards the seasonal content model and away from launching massive content updates once a year, as we did with chapters. We will be talking much more about this in the future, but 2025 expect to see named seasons of 3 or 6 month durations with a mix of theme story content, events, store items, dungeons, and more. I'm actually more for that. I really do think that this is this is the approach that they need to take. And I feel like this will open up more opportunities for better changes because, like they were saying before, the timeline crunch that they have with these chapters and the amount of content that has to be released with them, I feel like focusing on a system like this is going to give them a lot more wiggle room to make cool stuff. 2025 will be a mix of old and new as we move the dev team towards creating smaller, bite-sized pieces of content, and we will still have some larger items that we've been working on for over a year, which you will see launched as well. Freeing up the dev team from needing, this is what I was just talking about, to adhere to a strict annual cycle means that we'll be able to have teams launch content when it's ready throughout the year, and will not work to a date in June, and that will let us focus on greater variety of content spread over the year. This supports the new seasons model and enable us to release content updates, fixes, and systems in more efficient manner. Good. So, like, maybe when they find bugs, they'll be able to fix it a lot quicker than waiting for the next quarterly release. Hopefully that means that a lot of the known bugs that are in the game now will get fixed. But, we'll see. Usually new content creates newer bugs. A new focus on change and experimentation. We've been hearing from you. I was just talking about this. The community, that we need to experiment more to shake things up and not be so predictable. The game. Oh yeah. Where was the changes to Hardened Ward on Magsork? That was pretty predictable that wasn't going to happen. The game needs new and different types of content, and for long-standing feedback to be addressed. We've already started some ideas that will be tested in 2025. These system and ideas will clearly marked as experiments in patch notes and are ideas that may or may not be fleshed out into full game systems. With our new focus on breaking up content into seasons and away from years, it gives us time to do these experiments and changes. Here's some ideas that we were working on, some of which you may see on the live servers as tests in 2025 and beyond. Some of these will be tests and some will be improvements based on player feedback. I have one issue with this. ZOS has been known to blatantly ignore feedback, so I don't know how much of this I'm excited for, because I feel like if they push something that the community doesn't like, they'll either just completely ignore it or change it completely without any minor tweaks. There's a couple examples of that. For one, Hardened Ward. Like, I know I keep touching on this, but like, they did not need to. Hardened Ward's not even a good example anymore. Pyrobrand. We'll go with that. That was a set that was unique for the DK as a class set, and I thought it was pretty good. You know, I don't main a DK, but when I did use it, I had fun with it. And they overly nuked it. They didn't even try to tweak it down a little bit. They just said, you know what, get rid of it. And now it's basically a useless set. The fact that the set can't even crit anymore, it's like, why even use it? Like, I'll just go back to Burning Spellweave. But player feedback, I'll believe it when I see it. This kind of makes me nervous a little bit. The game doesn't need new content. It needs to be... Yeah, you're exactly right. You need to fix the shit that's already in the game before you start adding more stuff to it. That, and start addressing the 500 plus sets that are in the game. Either delete them or make them all useful. Because, you know, why do I have all of these sets, but I generally only use like maybe 7? And that's no exaggeration. I do believe there's like 450 to 500 plus sets in Elder Scrolls Online. This game is dead and a piece of shit. Jeez, what's up, Streak? Welcome on in. Oh, jeez. We need to seriously address Cyrodiil performance. Shh, dude. Keep grinding. Enjoy watching your channel grow. Thanks, brother. Welcome on in. Streak going off, dude. He's popping off. First comment, he's just ready to go. Where did this come from? Where did this curveball come from? Has any of the devs like actually read the forum? Like, I don't mean to pull a fang rush here, but like, what? We need to seriously address Cyrodiil performance. Where the fuck have you been the past 10 years? Wow, I don't think I don't even know what to say to that. That's the first sentence in the first experimentation thread of the bulletin. That is funny. Our ambitious goal is to return it to the concurrency levels we supported in 2014. So we'll be experimenting with the Cyrodiil campaign where all classes will have PvP specific and more performance skills that replace the standard player skills, with the expectation that we can support more players per campaign. Wait, what? Cyrodiil campaign where all classes will have PvP specific and more performance skills that replace the standard player skills, with the expectation that we can support more players per campaign. What does this mean? Where all classes will have PvP specific skills. Are they talking about like the Alliance War skill line? This is so dumb, bro. They're going to replace all the skills with rock, paper, scissors. Oh, God. It's going to be the engine guardian of experiments. They're going to restrict you from using your class and weapon skills, and they will give you specific skills to use only. I don't think anybody will be down for that. No way. If that's the case, then what's the point of having a class? Nah, I think it's going to be like ranked on other games. That's my assumption. Certain skills will be banned. Well, skills or maybe sets. Because if that's the case, like, there's only going to be so many ways that you can proc sets if class skills are banned. And I don't know. Only Reliquant. I mean, I don't even know how that's going to work. All classes will have PvP specific and replace the standard player skills with the except. Maybe that means like I don't know. That is such a vague sentence. Because there's a couple of things that go through my head when I hear classes will have PvP specific, meaning like, is that meaning like they're gonna just take Dylan511? Thanks for the follow, bro. Welcome on in. I'm hoping. Here's my prediction. I'm hoping that means that they're gonna take the classes and alter the class skills for PvP specifically. Maybe they'll do away with like the weapon skill lines and the Undaunted skill line. I mean, like Undaunted is pretty cool. I hope they don't mess that up too bad, but I don't know. There's a lot to touch base with this right here because that is such a vague sentence that it could literally mean anything. Bro, it means exactly what it says. They're going to turn off skills because the servers can't handle everything spamming, echoing vigor, proxy debt. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they're going to turn those off, but keep the class skills. Like, that would make more sense if you had class skills over, you know, restoration staff heals that are, you know, radiant regeneration times 1,000. You know, there's only so much water that can fit through that tube going into the server side versus the client side. Class-specific skills. Yeah, that's what I mean. What about Reliquant? Certain skills will be banned. There's a way to fixing the servers. Just turn off the classes. I mean, Everybody gets a 2H. The only thing you can do is Wrecking Blow and Crit Rush. That's it. There's your PvP. Go to town. Oh, God. No, I think they will have skills that only work in PvP modes. Only Relic. Both, probably. They are class-specific skills. Trying to limit server strain, yeah. Maybe you just get a blanket skill layout. Everyone has the same skills. But that's so vanilla to me, because not all other MMOs are like that. Like, Guild Wars 2 is... Matter of fact, I feel like in Guild Wars 2, the weapons that you hold alter your class skills. But, it'd be cool if, like... It'd be cool if, like, you're holding a staff, then, like, your class skills are then altered for range, or altered for, like, the elements or something. If you're holding a 2H, then your skills become melee-based. Like, I don't know. That's kind of like what I'm thinking, too. Trying to limit server strain. Maybe you can just get a blanket skill layout. Yeah. Only 2 skills. Polar Wind and Northern Storm. Minute live, at least 45k or you can't enter. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be Polar Wind and Northern Storm only. I like that. It might just be finally skills attached to Battle Spirit. Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. I mean, Battle Spirit has been talked about for a while. While Battle Spirit is active, cross healing from this ability is disabled. That, Kratos, is big. Personally, I think that's exactly... I don't think there should be any cross healing in PvP at all, but that's just me. I know other people feel differently about that. The game already feels homogenized as is. They're gonna do it even more. Less class flavor, less class expression, no style. Yeah. Read the sentence again. Classes will have PvP-specific skills that replace standard. Read as PvE player skills. Okay. So Necro will have Necro skills only for them that only work in PvP zones. Okay. Imagine Necro will be buffed by the new skills. And Necro finally got its buff by nerfing everyone else. Welcome to the graveyard, shitters. All right, let's keep going. Increasing the difficulty of standard overworld combat. Yeah, I heard about this. This is really good in my opinion. The game was way too easy, and I specifically remember being scared going into zones that I knew were above my level because it was fucking hard. And I personally like that playstyle, and I think that players that disagree with this need to go play Elden Ring and get good. Improving the overall feel of combat with the animation, FX, and potentially audio work. Okay. Experimenting with more zones like Craglorn. Yeah, I heard about this too. Not as large area and scope. Created exclusively for high-end group and soft group content associated with Gear Chase. So the endgame sweats have a place to go now. Adding more refining tools and making guild recruitments, interaction, management easier and more logical. That's good. I like the idea that they're thinking about guilds now and doing more for group-oriented content as far as, you know, going away from more of the solo aspect of the game and making it so, like, you really have to have a group to go do stuff, and you get rewarded for it. So it's like an open world Dragonstar Arena, essentially. We have many more ideas here, and of course we are listening to you, and we'll be coming up with new ideas based on your feedback. I bet. I will get on that forum every day and voice my opinion and guarantee you not one thing will get feedback. But I hope I'm wrong. PvE is the way. Too many casuals complain about PvE but don't want to learn the game. Yeah, you're exactly right. Make Bleak Rock endgame zone. Here's an idea. Make Bleak Rock endgame zone, but it's just like Imperial City. So if you want a PvE, you got to watch out for the PvP sweats too. Good luck. Or maybe just change the entire game to where you can click on PvP or click off. So like Grotwood's now a PvP zone if you have the PvP toggle on. Like is it Diablo that plays like that? Imagine this, ESO PvP as a battle royale. They already do, dude. It's Cyrodiil. You just run around in a circle and keep respawning. Like RuneScape, kind of, yeah. Concentrating on new and returning user experience. It is long past time that we address ESO's new and returning user experience. Yeah, they have lost quite a bit of players in the past, so the game is so large at this point that we need to refine the new user experience. No, you don't. You really don't. What you need to do is make better tutorials. That way the user experience is better. However, there's no need to refine the new user experience. What you need to do is bring back returning user experience, because this is how you're going to make money. You can get 1 million new players will not make as much as 100,000 returning user players. And I say that because if your game isn't good, these 1 million new players will just leave the game and you won't see a dime. So what they do is they then trash everything that they did because these new players didn't come back, revamp everything again in hopes that they'll get new players again, and just wait for that wave to tower in. And at the same time, these returning users sit in the background and won't come back because the game hasn't changed in the end game aspect, because they keep addressing new content to create a newer crowd of people. And to me, that's a bad business model. I don't know anything about business, but that's a bad business model. Please, it's called ESO. Elder Zergs Online. Nah, closing circles, gear you need to find can upgrade, tombs give you certain skills. Alright, back to work. Have fun, guys. Alright, Kratos, thanks for stopping in, bro. Hope you have a good night. And you can even do like a horde mode. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ideas that this game hasn't touched on, and there's so much potential to be unlocked. I really feel like they have something here with this announcement that they made. There's definitely there's still hope, maybe. I don't know. But I definitely think they need to get away from the new, focusing on new players, and start working on their returning players, because that's where they're ultimately, I think they're going to make more money. Like, can you imagine if Cypher PK came back to the game? Just think about that for a second. We're talking about somebody that has over 5 million Twitch followers, and I think he's entering 10 million YouTube subscribers. If that dude came back to the game because the game was, made better, can you imagine the following that would take? I think even Summit 1G played this game at one point, and they lost him too. Like, that right there is what they need to work on, bringing the returning players back to the game. There's only so many times over 10 years people can be saying stuff like, what if they add this? And it's not going to happen, Chief. Yeah, I know. But they did say, we are listening to you and we'll be coming up with new ideas based on your feedback. God, I hope a dev from somewhere a dev is watching this video, especially after I post it. I'm laughing out loud. Just remember, based on your feedback. Additionally, we have many millions of players who return to the game every year after taking months to years off. Okay, good, so they're aware. And that is often confusing to them what they should be doing. We need to address this by making sure that the game's map and other quest informational UI areas clearly show the... Listen, nobody is confused on how the UI or the map works. You know what you could do, though? You could give console players a mini-map for the top right corner. Or left, or wherever you want to put it. Just give us a mini-map, for God's sakes. I mean, there's your fix. We need to address this by making sure that the game's map and other quest informational UI areas clearly show the user where they were when they left off. Or they could just open up their journal and look at their quests, but that's just me. What has been added since then and what they will find content they will love. They already do that. They shove the crown store right in your face as soon as you log in the game. This is my fucking problem with this stuff. Like, this is all filler right here. This whole paragraph is filler. It's talking about shit they already do, but just explain it in a different way. Like, we really need to take a new approach to bringing old players back to the game. Everything they just said in this sentence, you could literally log into the game. Okay, Crown Store, cool. Here's what's new. All right, where did I leave off? Let's look at the journal. These are my quests. Let's look for the pins on the map. It's already there. How much more easier can you make that? Why are you doing this, Zos? Money. Many millions. Bro, people are so dumb. If they can't figure out a map, holy crap. I mean, I feel like the Skyrim map was more challenging. And the, journal or quest log. And that game is still making content. I mean, we're talking 2011?
Yeah, but no one wants to look for anything anymore.
Oh, I know. If they don't, it's just like fucking Nightblades. If they can't push a button and get every buff in the game, then why play the class, right? You're exactly right, honey. Here are just a few items planned to improve the new and returning user experience. This ought to be good. Some of these will launch in 2025, some afterwards. A new patcher. A new patcher. Is that a typo? What's a patcher? With improved visuals and performance, PC only. Okay, good. Next. Returning to the original Whaling Prison tutorial area for all new players. This has already launched, but we will be regularly tweaking it and improving the experience. Is this when you start off in the prison in Cold Harbor? Corporate speak. Why are you doing this, Zos? Money. Rolls out patches. A new patcher. That's gonna be the title of this video. A new patcher. I'm sure it actually has like a good meaning to it. I'm just, what's the word? I'm grammarly ignorant. My English is not good. Visually improving base game zones with updated textures and art assets, starting with the starter islands. These should start rolling out in March of 2025. I mean, like, it's not really a quality of life. They're just making... It sounds to me like they're maxing out the RAM and pushing the older generation consoles as hard as they possibly can to make the game visually appealing to newer players. To me, that's what I wish they would touch on is, when the fuck are you dropping the old consoles? Like, for God's sakes, if you're still playing on an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4, like, I'm sorry, it's time to move on. Like, I need cross-platform to happen in this game, and they can't do that with the older consoles dragging them behind. Not showing new players, prologue quests or chapter quests, compass pins. The jury is still out on how Stugo will feel about this. Sprucing up the game's PC UI, which is long overdue for a modern visual upgrade. Other map and UI systems still in design idea stage to make returning to the game more seamless, to get you back into the action quickly. Do-do-do. Open your map and quest. Find out where you were last. Not that hard. Continuing to tell great stories. With the changes of our content release model, please be assured that we are not abandoning new quest content, but we will be doing it in a different way than previously before, as our focus will not be on adding giant new land masses, although we will do that from time to time. Instead, we will use existing zones and areas to tell new stories. Some of these are, oh good, so they're just, reskinning. Conservatives, that's what I said before. This is how the rich stay rich. Continuing the stories in existing zones and storylines and bringing back familiar characters. Oh great, here comes Razumdar. New stories focused on Hallmark Elder Scrolls organizations like Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, Fighters Guild, and Mages Guild, splitting a large zone across multiple updates. This is what Thorax was talking about earlier. They're gonna sell us they're gonna sell us 3 quests in all the zones that we already play in over a year's span. Oh, look at, he just said that. Selling one zone 3 times, modern gaming. Good news, guys. New patcher. This has to be the title. Good news, guys. New patcher. I like that. Ah, fuck. We are embarking on these changes to give the development team the space to find out the new cadence that can mix new content and systems with addressing feedback, fixing issues and adding new quests and activities to existing zones and stories. It will not be as regular as old annual cadence, so expect season launches and new content systems. Say like that I'm about, but hopefully they do it the way that I hope that they do it. And test announcements throughout the year, not necessarily in January as we've done since 2017. Speaking of, to give everyone a heads up, our next big announcement event will be in April of 2025. I heard about this, and we will introduce our first season. There will be much more in April announcement, but for that, you will have to wait. We will still have a content update in March 2025 on PTS as normal in January, and we will give you more information about that sometime early in the new year. You have already heard the news that we will not be doing a 2025 North American community event as we originally planned. That's because they bought Cypher PK. But this was a difficult decision, but as shown by all the planning and development changes listed here, we need to focus on the game itself for a while this year. That said, we will still see you at the local community events in many territories, so stay tuned for announcements and details on those. And finally, my thanks to all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of the wonderful community that makes up this amazing online virtual world. As I have said many times before, we would not be here without you. And all of your Crown Store purchases. You have all navigated many changes throughout the years and have given us invaluable feedback. I can't even read that with a straight face. Throughout the years, and given us all invaluable feedback that has helped steer our decision making since our beta program started in 2013. Have a wonderful holiday and see you all in time real. Matt. Ah, fuck. Hey, I love some Razumdar. He's a sleaze like me. Less updates, they just said it, bro. Yeah. Also, fun fact, that's how you pronounce the Raz in my name. The Raz. Oh, Bazooka Raz. Gotcha. Razumdar. I see the videos coming. Easy. ESO 2025 will be never the same. Well, interesting. I feel that there is big potential for game changes and money to be made. But to me, and I really hope I'm wrong, this might be the end of Elder Scrolls Online. And I say that in the simplest terms of they're not going to be adding anything major to this game anymore. I think they've done what they did, and this is probably the simplest way they could say that they are retiring. And what they are mostly talking about is cleanup crew. So they're going to clean the game up to the best of their abilities with the money that they make from the Crown Store. And they're going to add seasonal changes to the game, like, hey, here's the Halloween event. Here's some double XP scrolls. Have fun. Hey, it's 4th of July. It's capture the flag games and Crazy King domination for double XP for 3 months straight. Here you go. Oh, by the way, you no longer trip on this rock in this map anymore. Fixed it. Tell me, this is them saying we are slowing everything down now, guys. Yep. Okay, I want you now to 3-craft the most broken Necro, which will be meta, and people will swap to Crow, so my class isn't meta anymore. Fix that rock! Oh, God. We'll see. We shall see. Smile, bitch. Smile, bitch. Come on. A new patcher.